Hey everybody, this is Steve. I work over on the Amazon Launchpad team, and I'm going to be taking you through the webinar on the Amazon Launchpad program today. Before we get going, quick sort of agenda for this. First let me explain how the webinar software will work. Within the webinar software, the pop-up that you got from GoToWebinar, you'll be able to submit questions. So please feel free to submit questions within there. I'll go through and I'll answer them at the end. I've got a lot of time reserved for Q&A at the very end of this. A lot of the stuff, we know we've done these webinars a few times, so a lot of the questions that come up on a consistent basis, we've actually rolled into the content of this. But if you want to throw some questions in there, please feel free. Probably answer a lot of them as we go through some of this anyways. In terms of the agenda, I'm going to go through, present a little bit of information on Amazon Launchpad, what it means to be a retail vendor with Amazon, how to get set up as a retail vendor with Amazon, best practices, results, all of the different things about the program, and then Amazon Launchpad as a retail program and what that means. Also going to go through and talk a little bit about getting started as a retail vendor and how things like the pricing systems work and some higher level things. With the Launchpad program, once you apply and are accepted into the program, you need to be a vendor in order to work with us. And so we have a team that can answer a lot of the retail-specific questions while you're getting set up. Each Launchpad, each Launchpad company, any company that's accepted in the Launchpad program, has the ability to work with somebody directly when getting set up with their Vendor Express account. And so a lot of that stuff can get answered in some greater detail, but I'll take questions on it and answer what I can, and then cover some of the higher-level stuff in this. The last thing is before, if you have to sign off a little bit early, or you wait to the very end and you have all the questions or for the Q&A session, there's a survey at the end. So please take that. It helps me to understand what I'm doing good, what I'm doing bad, what we want to roll in, and some of the questions, and just how I can make these things better going forward, both for new vendors, and then we're also doing webinars for current vendors to give them some updated information on things. So. Without further ado, though, let's get going. Again, please feel free to throw your questions into that box. So, Amazon Launchpad, you've got an idea, you've got funding, you actually have a product that is available to be sold or very close to. Now what happens? And so these are the problems that we were trying to solve when we created this program. We launched about a year ago in July of 2015. The way that the program is designed is to enable vendors in a retail relationship with Amazon to come in and launch their product faster, give them visibility, and build their brand and earn that trust. So the launch faster, we have Vendor Express that we work through, and I'm going to dig into some more of that. Then notice the Launchpad program, the best way to think about it is as when you come onto Amazon as a vendor, whether you're a vendor or a seller, the biggest challenge on Amazon is to get your product noticed. So especially as a new company with limited budgets coming in, you have to compete immediately against some of the biggest brands out there, publicly traded companies, massive conglomerates. How do you, as a smaller company, compete with those? Well, you can have guerrilla marketing, and you can get very scrappy in what you're doing there. You can also look to a program like ours, which is going to give you a lot of marketing tools for free so that you can come in and compete right off the bat with that. Things like a dedicated storefront only for startups and innovative products, things like being able to help with search relevancy, things like being able to get reviews to your product right away, things like just giving you a lot of extra traffic to drive that visibility. And ultimately, we're all looking for sales out of this, and so to help to drive those sales as well. And I'm going to dig into a lot of this more, but the crux for the Amazon Launchpad program is really launch your product on Amazon, or launch your product within the Launchpad program, and I'll go into a little bit more on what that means, whether you're a current vendor or not, and how do you get that visibility and really that growth trajectory right out of the gates from our program. And then I'll provide some stats on how that all works. So we've got a lot of great traction with this. It's exciting, it's innovative. We've got some great partners in the Valley. We've got great partners all over the world who are driving products to us. We work very closely with some of the top VCs, the venture capitalists, the top incubators, accelerator programs in the world, and then also with the top crowdfunding sites in the world, the Kickstarters, the CircleUps, the Indiegogos of the world, to be able to drive, give us a heads up of these awesome products that are coming off, and then we really, work closely with them to make sure that their products, when they're ready to come to market, Launchpad can be that launching ground for them. So. These numbers are pretty outdated, but we have well over 600 products or companies within the program right now. That's over the last year. Well over 1,500 products within the storefront, and then 100 plus plus VCs, incubators, crowdfunding sites within our network. And those are the people who are really helping to drive these products to the Launchpad program. So a lot of great articles, continue to get great press. We've got a lot of awesome things coming out, for the rest of this year and going into 2017 that you'll see coming out in the press here. And so, this helps to drive people to the storefront. And so when I go back to these stats and we look at how do I compete when there's 600 products or 600 or 1,500 products and 600 companies within the Launchpad storefront, well, we do a lot of the legwork to get people to come and look at our storefront. We have a very shoppable storefront, and I'm going to go into some more of this information in a little bit. And we have a storefront that people want to come and browse through. It's not typical Amazon where you know what you want to buy and you come and you buy it. We have a place where people come and they hang out and they want to actually shop and see some cool things, and we have a lot of engaging content on there provided by these startups so that people do stick around and get to drive that visibility and ultimately those conversions. So let's talk quickly about what an Amazon Launchpad startup looks like. We require three things: that you're funded, so you come through one of these three different funding networks: incubators, accelerators, you're crowdfunded, your venture capital company. I'm going to take a segue right there though and say, if you happen to have self-funded your startup, I encourage you to apply for our platform or our program. We do go through and look at all the applications that come in, and if we see products that we believe fit the model and they're innovative, but hey, maybe you didn't need to go to an outside funding company in order to secure. Maybe you were able to self-fund it, or maybe you did a friends and family round. Maybe you have an angel round that isn't an accredited investor, but somebody believed in the product. Apply for the program. We want to see. We have lots of products in that don't fit all of these criteria, these first three things, but they are innovative nonetheless. And that's awesome. If you were able to be bootstrapped and scrappy, more power to you, and we'd like to hear from you. We also ask that it's a physical product, so it's hard good, it's a hardware, it's a consumable, it's clothing accessories, and narrow out some of the things that we aren't currently working with, but that may change. We are currently working with media, so big thing coming off of Indiegogo and Kickstarter are going to be independent movies. We don't work with movies, TV shows, things like that at this point. Books, comic books, any sort of digital content, it's not something that we're working for at this point. That may change in the future, but at this point we do not. So we require that it's a physical product. We also require that it's available, or at least in the manufacturing process. So if you're in the manufacturing process right now, we want to hear from you. We want to talk to you, get on your radar. When we can put your offer up and live within the Amazon Launchpad storefront and Amazon.com in general is when it's within 30 days of actually being able to be fulfilled to the customer. And so you want to back out of that by looking at, give it 2 weeks from the time that you can get it to Amazon fulfillment centers to get in stock, distributed amongst our network, and then about that time is when you should be we'll be shipping it to customers. So back out 30 days from there. One of the main questions that we get with the program is, what does it mean to be an Amazon vendor? And so I want to take some time to make sure that I can go through and talk about a vendor versus a seller and be very clear. Amazon Launchpad requires you to have a vendor relationship with Amazon. So what does a vendor relationship mean? That means that Amazon will order the product directly from you. You are a wholesaler of the product. We order the product from you, write you a PO for it, and payment terms are net 60 on those. For logistics, we'll cover all shipping. So we write a PO, you fulfill that PO. Amazon gives you prepaid shipping labels. We take to send your product to our fulfillment centers. We take care of all returns from customers to Amazon, and we take care of all customer service. In terms of customer acquisition, you have the Launchpad program, which will help with the customer acquisition. And then you also belong to a retail category. And so whether it's consumer electronics or it's a consumable, whatever it may be, because of that category, you also get to take advantage of the different marketing that they do as that category. Launchpad is category agnostic. We are not our own category. We don't even really have our own P&L. What we have, we support all categories within the Amazon retail family outside of books and digital content. But from a customer acquisition standpoint, you also have other things that are available to you in terms of a paid. So you have the Launchpad program, which is completely free, and I'll touch more on how that is completely free and everything you get here shortly. You have your category teams, which also provide services and drive traffic to the different products that are in their category. And then you have access to things like being able to go do paid search, paid social, retargeting, and display ads. Amazon opens up more tools and more paid tools, and then, as a retail vendor, you can have access to this Launchpad program. We open up more tools to you in a vendor relationship with Amazon than in a seller. Fees are standard, so it's standard retail margins. You sell your product to us at a specific cost. The margin between that and what we sell it to customers at is where Amazon makes its money off of. And all products are Prime eligible. Every Prime member is able to order your product, and they get that Prime badge and that 2-day shipping on there. And that's for any product that's going to be in that Launchpad program using the Amazon fulfillment services. On a seller side of things, also known as the 3P model, third-party model with Amazon, it's consignment. So the customer is ordering directly from you. You go on, you list your product. It's listed on Amazon.com. You have customers are placing those orders, and you're fulfilling those orders, or the customer is technically ordering directly from you. And in terms of logistics and how that customer gets from you, the customer, or the vendor, you, the company, to the actual end user of that, you can ship it yourself, so you can do your own you can do your own shipping on that and have you set up your own warehousing. Amazon also has a service called Fulfillment by Amazon, or FBA, and you're able to use that. You're able to pay fees in order for Amazon to ship that product on your behalf. If you do that, your products may become Prime eligible if you're using FBA. In terms of customer acquisition, you're required to pay for all your own promotional activity, and so there's some fees involved with doing that type of stuff. And then in terms of those other fees, there's fees for Seller Central and warehousing where applicable. What you'll look at is between the two, and in most cases, the amount of money or margin. So either on a seller model, the amount of money that you pay in order to list your products on Amazon should be generally equal to the amount of margin that Amazon will require to sell your product. We try to get as much parity in there as possible. Being a new product, there may be there may be differences on that, but also look at what's best for your business when you're looking between these two models. To be clear again, though, in order to be a part of the Amazon Launchpad program, you must be a vendor. We do not allow sellers into our program. Part of telling your story and part of being a part of the Amazon Launchpad program is access to things that a lot of other Amazon vendors and and sellers do not have. The biggest thing that drives the most interest, keeps people coming back to the store, keeps people looking at your product, keeps people engaged, and really allows you to explain and helps you with your branding as well, is the video. So we allow any company that's in our program to put a high definition video directly on their page, and it can be actually found in 2 different spots. Right up at the top, so when somebody comes directly to your listing or comes to your listing through search results, they have the ability to watch your video on there. The stat that you're seeing on the screen now, 64% of online shoppers are more likely to buy after watching a video. That is the main reason why we allow you to put those in there. And you as the vendor get to control your content on that page. We want you to take part in Amazon Vine if you do not have 10 to 15 reviews on your page, on your product. And I'm going to go into details of this, but you can also drive reviews yourself. The Vine program is open specifically because Vine reviews can give up to 100% conversion lift on a product. And what I mean by that is if you don't have reviews on your product, please take advantage of the Vine program. And what the Vine program is you as the vendor are able to send anywhere up to 30 products into the Vine Voices program. The Vine Voices program is comprised of the top Amazon reviewers on the entire platform. And those reviewers Amazon approached them to be a part of this Vine Voices program. They are allowed to, they are given a newsletter where they can go and see which products have been enrolled in this Vine program. And they are able to ask to review those. Amazon then sends those products that you would send into Amazon as part of this program to those reviewers, and they have 30 days to leave a review on there. You'll typically get a very detailed review of this. They'll typically look at the products that are comparable, that you as the vendor get to list as comparable products, and things that consumers would generally look at, comparing that product A versus product B, and discuss things like that. What you aren't guaranteed is 5-star reviews, but if you believe in your product and you want to be able to get it in there and drive reviews, this is the best way to do that, and something that we open up for free. It's typically $2,500 to $3,500 per product, depending on what category you're in. Launchpad participants are able to take advantage of this free of charge. We also give you information-rich detail pages, and by that I mean you have your typical Amazon listing when you come and either visit it through as a direct link or when you come through, typical search results. We've all seen these Amazon.com listings where you go in and you're buying toilet paper or paper towel or whatever it might be. With an Amazon Launchpad listing, you get to build out that content yourself. So you have your listing at the top, and then below that, you get these essentially sections, and there's much more that goes in between these. What you're seeing on the screen right now, to have that high definition video, you get to do high resolution images of your products. You as the vendor get to explain what your product does and really control your brand and control the conversation about that brand or the content that people are seeing about that. We have templates built directly into the Vendor Express platform. So as you're going through and setting up your products within Vendor Express, this is the spot where you'd receive your POs and where you'll do all of your, have all of your conversations with Amazon. You're able to build out this content and update this content as you see fit. You get to control your brand, and then it also helps with the sales lift that we're seeing out here so far. So, all in all, the Amazon Launchpad package is worth about $300,000, and this is free marketing content that we're giving to every single startup and every product from that startup that comes into the program. So if you have 3 separate products, 3 unique products that you have, we would love to have each and every one of them in the Launchpad program, and each of them will get this package. If you have a set of products that you brought out today and you're 6 months away from having those Gen 2 products come out, we want Gen 1 and we want to have Gen 2 from you as well. And all of these would be as you can continue to bring out more and more products, each of them will be able to get this full Launchpad experience from there. So we help you to optimize your search. We provide you all of this A+ content with the high definition video, high resolution images. We give you free access to the Vine program. We do storefront collection refreshes. So, if you went and looked on our storefront right now, there's going to be collections that are very specific to the seasons or different holidays that we're in right now. That refreshes on a monthly basis. The other thing that you get is our marketing team. So I have a dedicated marketing team here on Launchpad, and their job is to drive traffic to the Launchpad storefront, drive traffic to the specific Launchpad products that are in our program, and drive conversion on that visibility or on those visitors to that. That is their sole job. And so on top of all of this free content that you get, you also get a team that's behind you supporting driving traffic to your page. The results of this speak for themselves. Last year we took products that came onto Amazon Launchpad between the day that we launched and the middle of November. And if you took a product and then you look at other products that launched that were similar to that, plus or minus a week, both on Amazon.com, the one that was in our Launchpad program saw 46 times the traffic and 37 times the sales on average. So if you're going to launch if you're going to, if you're going to bring your product onto Amazon.com, which we want selection, of course, bring it on through the Amazon Launchpad program. And then the numbers here that is, speak for themselves. This is looking at a control group of over 3,000 retail products inside and outside, or 100 products inside the program versus 3,000 products that were similar to those brought in out of those 100. 46 times the traffic, 37 times the sales if they were in the Launchpad program versus not in the Launchpad program. We also continue to reinvest back into the platform and the program itself. So doing things like feature rank. You as a younger company, the best thing you can do is get feedback from your customers. And so reviews go a great way to do that. But also, what do you want? What do these customers want from a future innovation of your different products? To help answer that question and give you more data to go off of as you continue to build out your young companies, we did something called Feature Rank. What Feature Rank allows you as a vendor to do is to say these publish directly on your listing right now. The four or so features that you're considering possibly, or just that you want to possibly consider rolling into the next version of your product, and let Amazon visitors and customers actually vote on what they would be most interested in. So you see an example here of Petsy, provide more colors so Petsy can match my living room, support multiple accounts, all of these different things. And individuals visiting their page are able to vote on which one they would find the most valuable in a Petsy product. And then also after they vote, they're able to leave a comment or any other sort of textual feedback that they would like to that customer or to that vendor. As a Launchpad program, we wrap all of that stuff up. It's anonymous in terms of the customers who are submitting that information, but we give that information back to you so you can add that to, the other data points that you want to see when you're looking to build out the program. We continue to come up with different things like this and different things to support startups and these young companies so that you can actually, you have the support of Amazon behind you and the Amazon customer base to be able to grow your products and grow your business. The other thing that kind of speaks for itself in terms of what we do with vendors is just create number one sellers. So we've got over a dozen number one sellers that we've created in categories. They come onto the Launchpad program and come on to be number one in their category and subcategory. So in terms of the next steps to get started, and then I'll jump into a couple other things, it's pretty simple. You apply for our program. Once you've applied for our program and you get the you get the A-OK in terms of, you fit those 3 different qualifications for the program: funded, physical product, ready to ship in the next 30 days, or in manufacturing. You'll create a Vendor Express account. You'll complete the product information within there. You provide some A+ content. That is the high definition, the video and the images for your product for the specific Launchpad content template. And that's right in Vendor Express. And then you ship some sample orders, and we'll start generating POs and continue that vendor relationship going forward. For this whole entire process that you're seeing here on the screen right now, we have a dedicated set of onboarding specialists to be able to help you through this. We know that this probably is your first time interacting with Amazon. We also know it may be your first time interacting in a retail environment, specifically an online retail environment. We want to make sure that this is a very smooth process for you. This is a scary process for companies. They finally have a product that they're ready to bring to market, and we want to make this the best possible process for you. Make it smooth, make it also a success for you. And so we have this team ready to help you to get everything onboarded and get all the steps needed to get into the Launchpad program. After you launch in the Launchpad program, it's pretty automated. And by that I mean our team, most of the marketing drivers that we do are automated from our side. So we're driving the traffic to your page, we're driving people to our storefronts, we're helping to enhance the search rankings or the search listings and search optimization for you. We're doing all these things in an automated basis for you on the Launchpad startup. You don't have to do much after that. If you want to invest in other marketing avenues, you absolutely can. But we'll continue to support you in the Launchpad program, with updates on the products, updates on different things, tactics you can use, best practices. There's newsletters that come out in a staged fashion based on your age in the program to continue to support you. And I'll go into a little bit more of that here in just a little bit. So one of the main questions that we typically get is, how is pricing determined on my product? And I'm going to go into pricing, and then I'll touch on how about controlling the list price of the product. In terms of pricing, and I can't go into too much detail in terms of how margins are determined, because really it depends. It's a case-by-case basis on a lot of different factors: the size of your product, size of the packaging, weight of the product, all of those different things. So you're going to register into Vendor Express, and you'll enter your product details. When you add in the weight, size, MSRP, and the wholesale price to Amazon in real time will come back and say, yes, we will accept this product at this price, or they will come back and say, based on this information, this is what we can pay for a product. And you as a startup get to make that business decision at that point if it makes sense for you to do that or not. It's all done in real time. It's a real-time negotiation with the Amazon systems on that, and so that's that's the way that pricing ends up working out. Now let's talk about inventory really quick and how this happens. So after you've added your product, details and pricing are accepted, Amazon will end up placing a sample order from you. That sample order is typically used to determine the demand for the product. So you'll ship your sample order in. The value of that sample order will be either $150 or 1 unit. This is something that Amazon's not going to pay you for this one sample order, but it's what we're using to base demand off of. With the Launchpad program, the amount of visibility that we end up driving to products, you'll start to see in most cases POs coming out pretty quickly. So POs come out every Sunday or Monday. You'll get them directly within your Vendor Express account with prepaid shipping labels attached to them, and so you'll start fulfilling those. Amazon we're conservative in the way that we order product, and we do that for two reasons. One, just capacity in our warehouses. We have a lot of products, and we want to, there's only so much capacity that we have within the warehouses. The other thing is we don't want to ship product back to you. We want to have enough product that we believe that it's going to sell, and we're going to be able to fulfill the demand, but not have so much on hand that it causes issues. And also, we don't want to be returning inventory. It's just expensive on both sides if that happens. So what we do is over 4 to 6 weeks after your product launches, so usually it's a little bit shorter than that, but we're going to start understanding that demand, and you'll see that ramp in terms of the POs start to take place. Amazon will hold typically 2 to 4 weeks of coverage. So what we mean by that is if there's 10 products that we see a demand for per week, we're going to order anywhere between 20 to 40 or make sure that we have 20 to 40 in stock at all times. That helps us to catch some of the peaks where there may be a little bit more of unexpected demand and then some dips that may happen in there as well. This can always change with seasonality. So during Christmas, we typically stock up a lot more, the holidays. And then also during promotional periods, if you're going to things like Prime Day, or if you're running a promotion yourself, Amazon systems can see that, and we're going to want to stock up because you're offering a discount on your product possibility, or a coupon, or maybe it's a lightning deal or something like that. So those are all things where Amazon will stock up a little bit more on. Those are the main things that I wanted to go through today on this. So I'm going to give it a second for people to start putting questions into that widget. Feel free to throw whichever ones you have in there, and then I'm going to kind of look through those really quick and just take out, and I'll start answering those. Okay, so the first question came in is outlining the margin structure and various categories. Margin structure varies category by category, and it also varies product by product within those categories, because you may have consumer electronics is a great example. You may have a set of headphones that wraps up and it's the size that you would get with an iPhone, and those weigh well under a pound. Or you may have a speaker and that speaker weighs 15 pounds. And so those are going to have different costs in order to warehouse those, costs in order to ship them, and things like that. And so based on all those factors, the size, the weight, the MSRP, all of these different things, that will help to determine the margin structure. I can't give specifics in terms of what it is on a category by category basis. One, because there's so many categories and subcategories, and just two, it does vary base product to product, and I just don't want to give bad information on this. Within Vendor Express, you'll know very quickly when you're registering your product the price that Amazon is willing to pay for that product, and you get to make that business decision at that time whether it's right for you or not. Obviously, not going to force you to sell the product to us. We'd love to have the product, but if it doesn't make sense for you, don't bring the product onto Amazon. But you'll get an answer very quickly. It's in real time how much the margin that Amazon would require on that product would be. Two questions that I'm going to roll into one. I'm currently a vendor on Amazon.com. Can I still join the program? Absolutely. If you fit the criteria of being VC, incubator, or crowdfunded, you have a physical product, and you're already selling, so you fit that third qualification of being able to sell to Amazon in the next 30 days or in manufacturing, we absolutely want to have your product. Same thing if you're a vendor and you have your first generation product out there, or even first and second generation, and you have future products coming down the pipeline or possibly coming to market soon. Yes, we absolutely want to have those products as well. We are programmed for startups. Just because you have 3 products or 3 generations of product out there doesn't mean that you're not a startup. We want to talk to you. We want to bring your products into the program. Same thing if you are a seller on Amazon. Seller's a little bit different. If you're a seller on Amazon, you're required to come over and be a vendor if you want to take part in the Launchpad program. We don't work with sellers. And by seller, I mean if you're using the Seller Central system right now to manage all of your inventory on Amazon, you're a seller. And we can't work with you unless you become a vendor and you would register to the Vendor Express platform. We would still love to have your product. We'd still be able to bring it into the Launchpad program, give you all of that awesome marketing, but we won't be able to do that unless you're an actual vendor for Amazon, to Amazon. What success have startups seen to date is the next question that I've got. I'm going to go back to a couple different things, and let me slide back through these slides really quick. Products in the Amazon Launchpad storefront saw 46 times the traffic and 37 times the sales compared to a control group. And that control group is a set of 3,000 products that are like or comparable to the 100 that we brought in that we did this analysis on with Launchpad products last year. So 46 times the traffic, 37 times the sales if you come on through Launchpad. If you're going to bring your product onto Launchpad and you're a startup, bring it onto the Launchpad program. It does nothing but give you free visibility, and we do nothing but drive free marketing to your or give you a bunch of free marketing to help drive that visibility in Amazon. The other thing I'm just going to go back to is just the number one category in their category. So well over a dozen companies that have come onto the Amazon Launchpad program and come onto Amazon through Launchpad went on to become number one sellers in their category. And so those two, I guess those three stats are the proof of that our program is working. It also, speaks a lot to why we're growing so quick. The question is, what if I'm self-funded? Am I still able to get into the program? We still want to hear from you. We want to know, we're a program for innovative products, but that funding bar is the bar that we're using right now to allow products in for the most part. We still review applications from non-funded startups. Amazon still wants to have your selection on Amazon.com, so I'd encourage you to do that. And then at some point, it may be a couple weeks, maybe it's a month from now. The Launchpad team, when we review these not funded startups that have applied for the program, we may come back and say, we'd love to have you be a part of this program. And so with that, whether you're already selling on Amazon or not, we'll do nothing but give you a boost if that's the case. If you already do become a vendor, Amazon would still love to have your product and add you to the selection on Amazon. And then the Launchpad program may come back at a future date and say, hey, we'd love to have your product. You're right, this is innovative, and you were just scrappy and went the self-funding route on there. So that's awesome. Is exclusivity required to be a part of the Launchpad program? Absolutely not. We do not require exclusivity. I do not ever see us requiring exclusivity. In fact, in my personal opinion, you don't limit yourself. If you want to sell in other places, I'd encourage you to go and sell in other retailers as well. We want to have your product on Amazon, of course. We want to have that selection. We want to have you be a part of the Launchpad program, but I won't stop you, and our program never stops you from going and selling in other places too. How does pricing work, specifically with MAP? So MAP is an interesting subject in which I completely understand, and what MAP means is that you have a specific price that you require all retailers to sell your product at. Good strategy in some ways, bad strategy in another, but in terms of our product and our program and the way that Amazon operates in general, we don't guarantee MAP. You'll never hear us guarantee MAP on the Launchpad side of things. There may be some cases of it that are held for MAP in terms of categories, but Launchpad and products coming into the Launchpad program specifically, we're not going to guarantee MAP. That being said, Amazon as a company is a price follower, not a price leader. And by that I mean if the product is found on other places cheaper, Amazon will follow that price to be the best price, the lowest price out there. But we will follow that price. We will not lead on that price. Our advice to you is keep your distribution channels clean. Work with distribution partners that you trust, that you have agreements with, that you have a good relationship with. And so if you are able to essentially control that pricing without entering into a MAP agreement with Amazon. Great question on international programs. Do we offer international programs? At this point, yes. Amazon, and I shouldn't have said it like that. Yes, we have international programs for Launchpad and probably expanding into some other places as well. So right now we have a storefront in the UK, we have a storefront in Germany, we have a storefront in China and Japan. There are separate application processes for each of those just because there's separate nuances for how Amazon sells products in each of those different countries, and we want to make sure you get the best onboarding experience possible. But we absolutely have international storefronts, and absolutely encourage you to check them out. After the webinar, we'll send a follow-up email that'll have links to this presentation and also information about those international programs that you can go and next steps to apply for the program. Okay. If I have new products come out, can I have more than one product in the program? Couple different ways to answer this. So first off, yes, you can have as many products as you have as a company come into the Launchpad program as long as they all fit the requirements for the program. Funded, available, and you are still a startup. You can add new products as they come out of your product pipeline, of course, and then also if there's new variations that come out of that product. So for instance, you have a product right now, say it's let's just go with an apparel because this is the best way to give this example. You create an apparel item, it's amazing. It comes in 4 different sizes right now: small, medium, large, extra large, and then it also comes in 2 colors. But in 2 months, you release 2 more colors plus an extra small. Let's roll all those into the Launchpad program as well. We'll add them to your listing. They'll get the content for your product, and that video, high-resolution images, all that stuff will be added to those, and we'd love to have them be a part of the Launchpad program. Same thing if you end up bringing out a pair of pants that would with that, or hat, or whatever other products. We'd love to have them come and be a part of this, and we'll give you those marketing packages for each of those subsequent products that you bring out. Let's see here. How long can I take pre-orders for? 30 days. We'll allow 30 days of pre-orders by Amazon customers until the time that they should be expecting their product. How long is my company or product a part of the Amazon Launchpad program? Great question. We have not kicked anybody out of our program except for, I can think of one company, not even kicked them out. They sold their company to a publicly traded entity, which as a startup, awesome. You're looking for liquidation events as a startup, especially if you're raising money with outside investors. So that's awesome. But we're not a program for publicly traded companies. You're publicly traded. You probably have the money to go and pay for all this marketing and on your own. We are a program for startups. And so that's really the example. If you think about the Launchpad program and the way that we work, when you come on, it takes about, call it 2 to 4 weeks to get fully set up and your product's launched onto Amazon. There's approval process and all that stuff that's in there, and so that's what ends up taking the time to get through that process. Once you're on, the Launchpad program and the benefits that we end up giving to you, 99% of those come in the first 12 weeks that you're in the program. So all of those different marketing drivers, that's all given to your product, within that first 12 weeks. And after that, it really, there's still marketing drivers that come into it. Things like you're still a part of our storefront, and so you're still going to get a ton of increased visibility because of that. We'll still rotate your product in and out of the different collections that we refresh on a monthly basis, so you're still going to get added visibility to that. We do things like email newsletters, Amazon Associates, all of these different things to continue to drive. And so we'll continue to rotate products in and out of that. And so, you'll continue to get added visibility to that. So we're never actually removing you from the program. It's not like 12 weeks and you're out and then we roll in the next batch. It's not like that at all. But most of the benefits that you'll see from the Amazon Launchpad storefront come in that first 12 weeks, hence Launchpad. We're launching, and we're the Launchpad for products in Amazon. I'll go back. Actually, we'll move out. I'll adjust this in just a second too. So, does Amazon Launchpad work for higher end products? Yes, and great question by the way too, because so the Launchpad storefront, there's products that are $4 all the way up to I'm thinking of one in particular in my head right now. It's a $2,400 high end speaker. We have one in the office that I got to try out. It's amazing. But it's $2,400, and so that's a high-end product. Our storefront is built to be able to tell the story of that product. We gave that vendor the ability to create that video to explain what is so valuable about my $2,400 speaker, and they've done an amazing job at doing that. They get to produce a high-end video to be able to explain that. Same thing with the content that's on their page, the images. And the same goes for the $4 product. They get to explain to the one that I'm thinking of is a consumable for children. And so they get to explain to mothers of why this is a nutritious product and why they put the mom first and the child first in creating this and really tell the story of the brand and that product. So, yeah, absolutely. We work in all ends of the spectrum. And, you know, our program is built for all startup products. Okay. Those are the extent of the questions that I have in right now. So I'm going to wrap up the webinar. We'll send all this stuff to you afterwards. I'm going to put back up the sign-up page really quick. So if you have questions, the next steps that I would encourage you to do is go to our application page and apply for the program. Unless we've reached out to you and said, hey, you're already in, this is what you need to do, and given you specific next steps. But the general next steps will be go and apply for the Launchpad program. It's a quick application process. You'll get an immediate response saying these are the next steps that you should take for A, these are the next steps you should take for B, just so that you get that customized onboard experience depending on your application. So it's amazon.com/launchpad/signup. Press that apply now button, fill out the worksheet or the form, and then hit submit. And we'll give you feedback on what the next steps you should take for that. Get your products into Vendor Express. Part of getting them into Vendor Express and through the links that we give you coming from messaging from Launchpad also gives our onboarding team visibility to say these people are ready to go, and let's make sure that they have a very smooth onboarding experience. Take them through, answer questions. They'll reach out to you so that you can have that dialogue with them in terms of making sure you get your questions answered. We completely understand. I'll touch on this one more time. We completely understand bringing your products to retail is not always the easiest thing. Bringing them to Amazon retail should be easy for you. And bringing them into the Launchpad program should be easy for you, and we'll make that easy for you so that you have, and by giving you this product, this individual support while you're bringing your products on. So I want to thank everybody for joining us today. Please take the survey as you close out of this webinar, and with additional questions, please be sure to bring those up with our onboarding team as you're going through and getting your products set up. Really appreciate it, and thank you very much.